And my video player had a slow motion button on it, so I used to watch the section at the end of Storm's video where he did more footwork and the pretzel stuff. I would watch all that in slow motion and try and figure it out. And that feeling has stayed with me, and that's always an ambition of mine, that I want other breakers to watch my breaking and be like, oh, I like it, but I don't really know what you're doing. It's kind of intricate, confusing moves. That's what I'm going for.
Now, Miss Emma, if you ever seen this show before, and anybody who's watching, we always go beyond the Cypher, right? Where we want to talk about, different issues in the scene that people deal with that are just basically real life, issues. So I want to ask you, do you feel that there is a gender bias in breaking?
I do, yes. I think it's we're heavily male dominated in the breaking scene, and when that happens, it's it becomes like the b-boys are the default. They're the go-to. They're the norm of the scene, and b-girls are a second thought. When I think a lot of hosts at events used to only say, when they're hyping up the crowd, cheer on the b-boys or reference the b-boys. And then it became b-boys. Oh, and b-girls, and b-girls. Now it's more like b-boys and b-girls. It's become more normal, but I've seen that trend. Or like introducing dancers for the battle that used to be, for example, b-boy Emma Reddy. Be like, oh, I'm not a b-boy. It's so normal for people to say b-boy, not to say b-girl.
Right.
I think that's changing. But yeah, I think b-girl battles. I really like b-girl battles. I enjoy them, and I think they're a great way to get rid of that bias and to put all the focus and the spotlight on b-girls without having to deal with any of that sexism. But I do think when a b-girl battle is part of an event that has a main battle, and the main battle, will be mixed, but the focus will be on the b-boys again. More attention, more effort is put into the main battle than the b-girl battle. So it sometimes feels like a pity gesture. Oh, here you go, you can have that. Or to get more women in the event.
Right, more like a marketing strategy than something that they actually care about.
Yeah,
no doubt. Like, have you experienced any of that bias over your career?
Yeah. I've been to events where people who are there to film aren't filming the b-girl section of the event because they're waiting for the big boys.
So treating it like a placeholder.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, b-girls aren't any good, so we won't film them, and we won't make them part of the recap of the event because who cares?
Wow.
And that that erases women on the scene. Because I've been to a lot of events over 20 years experience, and I'm not in very many videos. And I think it could be easy to say, well, we just put the best dancers in, but then I think you also have to whoever's making recap videos, depends what their intention is. Are they trying to cover it like a journalist, like this is what happened, to document the event, or is it I want to push this dancer because they're my favorite, or I want people to see this person because they've not had much exposure. So the videos themselves can end up being biased towards the filmmaker's point of view. And if it's not a woman making the film, then probably there will be less women or girls in the final edit, if they're filmed at all. It's been. And another common one that I experience is if I'm at an event and I'm standing with a group of guys, and another guy will come over, he'll greet all the b-boys, all the men in the group, and then walk away and not acknowledge me.
Wow.
It's common.
Now being an OG in your scene, I don't know if you guys use that term over there, but being an OG, just meaning like you're one of the more one of the builders. Now you're judging, organizing, things like that, and competing less. As a judge, have you ever been like just oversighted? 'Cause I'm assuming you judge probably quite often now with how long you've been down with hip hop, or excuse me, with the breaking, which is hip hop. But do you think like say for instance, if you judge against someone, right? Do they just, or not even if you judge against someone, but when a b-boy loses or wins or whatever, do they more ask the male judges for feedback and then just kind of, not ask you? Or have you seen that they will still come up to you and be like, what can I improve on? Why did I lose? How can I get better? So on and so forth.
I don't know. I don't know how I would compare that, because it usually happens once the judges have dispersed.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're asking other judges more than me or not, but
Right.
But people do ask me for feedback, b-boys and b-girls.
Okay.
So when I started judging, I judged one event and someone asked me for feedback, and I was like, I can't remember your battle. I felt so bad. So since then, I take notes.
Right.
I take detailed notes. I have a little shorthand that I use, so that when people come up and ask me, I'm like, okay, what's your crew name? Okay, that was that battle, and I read my notes so I can tell them. And I try to take notes about what's happening in the battle, but also just overall, what do I think that dancer could improve on if they want that kind of feedback. So yeah, no, I think when I'm judging, it's always fine. I'll tell you another judging story though.
No doubt.
There was one event where I was judging the pre-selection on one day, but I wasn't judging the main battle the next day, and I was treated very differently. And I don't know if that's a gender thing or if that's a judge thing. One day I was important because I was making decisions, and the next day I wasn't. So
right.
The same people who said hi to me, come up and shoot my hand, ignored me the next day.
It sounds like they were playing the political game.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you have some influence over my final destination in this event. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
No doubt. That's cool. Now, do you think that the this treatment from when you came in the game to 2020 has gotten better? Like, has the B-girl become more of a important figure in the culture versus maybe in the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, I think so. And a lot of that's to do with it. There are a lot more of us now. I think what maybe hasn't changed is how much space there is at the top of the scene for b-girls as opposed to b-boys. So I think there needs to be more space made for more women to be at the top of the game. So that I think that is changing a bit now, but it's for a long time it wasn't. It was just very closed. Lots of b-boys can be at the top, but only one b-girl. So I think that's the problem.
That one at a time type thing.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And I think the more women who are in positions of authority, who are visible on the scene, in positions of power, the better for the whole scene. And I think something that I definitely want to see change is that boys and men also accepting women as role models and not just saying she's a great role model for b-girls. A role model for men and for boys.
Right. No doubt. That's funny. I was going to ask you that. Do you think that your counterparts, us, the b-boys, do we take you guys seriously? Because I guess that would be where the parity would begin, right? Once we started to treat you guys as equals and like stop saying things like, you'd be a great model for another young lady, right? Then that's where we start taking the steps in the right direction. Do you think b-boys take b-girls seriously in the scene?
I think some do. I think some definitely don't. Yeah.
Now, do you think it's because of like that it's a meritocracy to an extent? So like if a b-girl is a high level b-girl, they take her seriously. If you're not one of the top b-girls that's killing the game, then it's just like, oh, that's just a b-girl. You think that's the case?
Yeah, I think that can be the case. But then if you if your outlook is that b-girls are never going to be as good as b-boys, then you're never going to take them seriously. It's a lot of b-boys get upset when they get beat by a girl still, because they hold that belief that, well, I should beat her just because I'm a guy and she's a girl.
Right. Like, yeah, just off of GP, right? Just like, well, yeah. Automatically, I see this girl across from me. I'm already thinking about the next round.
Yeah.
And my next opponent, no doubt. And what about, because you're on the professional side of breaking as far as, like using it as a way to make a living, or at least to supplement. And do you think that, you being a B-girl affects the amount of students you can get, or maybe are you only getting mostly girls, or do you find that a lot of guys will still take instruction from you?
No, yeah, I have had a lot of guys come to my classes. So I think there are some guys the same guys who don't like getting beat by a girl wouldn't want to be taught by a girl. So I'm sure the pool of people who are willing to come to my class is smaller than if I was a b-boy with the same skill level, same level of experience.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. I want the people who come to my classes to want to come to my classes.
No doubt. Yeah.
But something that I have noticed over the years, not in the scene, but like councils or community centres who want to encourage boys to get into dance will put on a breaking class with a male teacher, because again, it's the whole men can be role models for boys, but women can't.
No doubt.
I think I've lost a lot of work over the years through that dynamic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I think what we need is maybe more business training, or more opportunities for people to be mentored and learn how to organize a battle, how to get a venue, how to liaise with all the artists.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing in the comment section. And to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash the notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.